Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended, the podcast. I'm Kim. This is Tyler. And,
What? Yeah.
and
We're offended. You're offended. Okay, no.
ew, we tried doing that before and you didn't like it. I don't know why you try that again.
I don't know. Well, it's more the We're offended. You're offended. The podcast.
Yes, but the weird that you were doing was just.
Well, I'm making fun of you.
Oh, well, you know what? Last time I said welcome to our channel and you were making fun of me. You're like, ugh, I hate when people say welcome to my channel. So then I change it. And now you're making fun of that. Make up your mind.
Yep.
So anyway, hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas break and fantastic Christmas. And I hope everybody went and visited their family and friends and had a great time and fuck the COVID. Also hope you were a good boy or girl and got exactly what you asked for from Santa Claus.
We're gender nonconforming. You know.
Yeah, that. Okay, so it is Monday. Christmas is officially done. I put it on, that 99.1 station today. Christmas music is officially dead. So I got to say, I was a little disappointed because, there's other Christmases that are still around the corner. There's Ukrainian Christmas, there's Chinese Christmas, there's that made up Christmas Kwanzaa. There's other Christmases.
I have been getting into tiffs with people regarding Kwanzaa. So for anyone, I guess, that doesn't know, Kwanzaa is actually, it was based off of a rioting. That's how it started. It was some drunk guy, black guy, of course. They had to make it very clear. A black man was drunk, pulled over by the police, failed a field sobriety test, and they attempted to arrest him. They said the man panicked and was trying to get free from police. Very, very peculiar wording they use.
He panicked. Okay, well, anybody could panic. I could panic if I was all of a sudden getting handcuffed, but if I did something wrong, like, yeah, I'm drunk. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to be scared, but I mean, I don't know the whole history. He's going to tell me right away, but I wouldn't attack people.
Oh, but so this guy's, I believe it was his cousin, intervened, also known as started fighting with the police.
Oh, jeez.
And then other people started showing up. So more police started showing up. More people started fighting with the police. And, it kept escalating and escalating. And then it culminated with weeks of rioting. I think it was $20 million worth of damage was done in this community. And I think it had 27 people died. So yeah, let's celebrate literally a holiday that was basically 2020 and Black Lives Matter and Antifa rioting. So we're gonna make a holiday out of that. It's like it's the fucking George Floyd incident. That's basically what.
And that started what, in the 60s?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a past version of a George Floyd incident that resulted in a brand new holiday. Cool. That's really neat. Let's celebrate a bunch of people dying and rioters. Cool. All right. So I'll say again, the made up holiday.
Well, and so it was. Now they're saying, oh, well, it's to support. It's in memory of Black culture. If that's putting your best foot forward, your culture fucking sucks. If that is your culture.
Doesn't make any sense celebrating. How is representing, like, something coming from rioting and people dying, celebrating Black culture? That sounds, the fact that somebody even said that sounds just rude. Like, honestly.
It's bigotry of soft expectations. Oh, this is the best you have, so we're gonna celebrate the worst of you because that's all you're able to do.
That is so fucked up. I don't.
So there were people that were fighting with me on Twitter because our blackface in charge was saying that, oh, happy Kwanzaa to everyone, and I said, but Kwanzaa's a made up holiday, and people were kind of spitting back and forth, and I said, whoa, okay, so it's basically a George Floyd incident, and you're trying to make it a holiday.
But see, that's the thing is like people will hear in their head, okay, like when I heard say before, if someone were like happy Kwanzaa, I'd be like, "Oh, happy Kwanzaa, thinking that it's, you know, uh, my ignorant self would be thinking maybe this is some sort of African Christmas type thing or Jamaican Christmas or whatever it may be, just like how they have Chinese, Ukrainian, whatever. So I wouldn't even think anything of it. However, finding out that it's just some made up holiday literally based off of rioting and people dying, to me is just absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think that's really something worth celebrating
Well,
personally, but
well, and leave it up to any type of like Christian, well, Jewish, whatever religion, to steal pagan holidays and then say, "Oh, how weird! Our God was birthed on the same day that you guys celebrate this exact same thing. Oh my God!"
even though in all of our history books, it shows that he actually wasn't born on that day. He was born in, wasn't it May? Hmm. No, 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 no. Let's tell these stupid pagans that he was born on Christmas Eve so we can take over their holiday. Yeah, let's do that shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, whatever you celebrate, I really don't give a fuck. But don't try and I don't know. Let's just go back to the pagan tradition. They actually had meaning. They weren't based on some fucking sky fairy. They weren't based on. How do you like that one?
Sky Fairy.
It's no different than the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's the same fucking thing.
You know what? I was 100% gonna go there. It's gonna be like, you know what? Whatever you decide to celebrate, even if it's spaghetti, you know what?
Well, the
Happy holidays. Fuck.
Flying Spaghetti Monster is a real thing, a pastafarian. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, I know it's a real made up thing, but again, made up.
Yeah. All right. So enough with these stupid religious holidays. But okay, so let's get into this first one. So there was the from the National Post. And it's titled, so this professor is fighting to stop woke warriors from destroying science. And it's a bit of a talk about it. So I wasn't able to get into all of it, but just the a bit of the well, fuck.
Stuttering Stanley, spit it out.
Unique New York, unique New York. Irish wristwatch. McGill University scientist Patangali okay, come on. Is on the cutting edge of laser research, but government funders refuse to support him simply because he doesn't believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Kambampati.
Kambampati? Okay.
Yes.
Kambampati. Kambampati. You're in.
See, you
You're
gotta
in
say with
Canada.
the accent, and then it just flows.
Yeah. Patanjali Kambampati.
See, it's got a
Holy
nice flow.
Well, if you're East Indian.
100%.
Okay, so the believe in sorry, I got to change diversity, inclusion, and equity as a minority who has experienced racism himself. Gambambati joins Anthony to discuss why he believes science is a true meritocracy and why critical scientific advancements rely on people demonstrating their abilities, not their race, religion, or gender identity. Gambambati also explains why so many scientists who agree with him are afraid to speak out. I know of one. And what's at stake if science doesn't take a stand against social justice engineering? So this is when you start having the problem of biological information isn't real. You start offending people because facts don't care about your feelings, and oh, well, feelings don't care about your facts. Shut up, idiot. How about shut up? Okay, the adults are talking. Okay, but so it was interesting to see that a an actual immigrant, a minority, is saying, "Hey, we need to stop this because it's going to fuck up science." It already is. All this stuff is bleeding in. There's articles um, scientists having to hide things, or they have to push certain things because of an ideological bend, and you're scared you're going to offend someone. So it's you're actually hurting the sciences itself, and all the people that, well, this is a problem and it is something we got to deal with. You were literally supposed to be the logical of the logical. Like, you're supposed to be like autistic in that way, that logic and reasoning is supposed to be like utmost the truth. Like, so science is supposed to be undisputed, just like how math is racist because black people are too dumb, they don't understand it.
Oh, same with the English language, which is based on our first episode we ever aired. English language is now under fire because it's based on racism. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, because math is actually Arabic, but and Jewish. And I don't know if anyone doesn't know, but originally Jewish people came from the Middle East. So it's actually minorities, but whatever. Let's just but that's the thing, like, let's just keep playing this made up game where it's how many victimhood check marks can you tick off, and
Yes.
and
Whatever helps you sleep at night, you special snowflakes. I mean, but you know what? If this is how you feel, maybe keep shit to yourself. Do you remember when your parents used to tell you when you were a kid, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Hmm. I think we should bring this into adulthood here. You got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Quit being a whiny little bitch. Quit being a special little snowflake. You know, just keep shit to yourself.
well, and so there was I guess I'll kind of pivot off this for a little bit. But there was well, we were trying to find the original video of that semi truck. I couldn't. You can't
Yeah.
find it anymore. Can't find it anymore.
Yeah, that's what we were supposed to talk about today.
Well, we can.
What? We can? Sorry, I was trying to jump on that bandwagon.
So,
Oh, yuck.
okay, but so again, for anyone that doesn't know, obviously, I'm in the transportation industry. Like, that is what I do.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so there's been a big petition for it. It was on I-70 on Colorado. So it was a driver that overheated his brakes, didn't take any of the emergency off ramps, um, and ended up plowing into. Oh God, I can't remember. Was it 12 others? Say what again?
Okay. You're not sure how many he injured and
Yeah, 4 were killed, and then 12 or I think it was 12 were injured. And he has, I think they sentenced him to 110 years in prison.
yes.
So, yeah, like I said, this is kind of my wheelhouse. This is my actual profession. So I was I remember seeing the video. There was a full video of it. And now I can't find it. So if anyone's actually able to find it, please, I would love to actually watch it again. But I remember seeing his brakes were smoking. So that means obviously he was riding his brakes too much. He was in improper gear in order to keep the Jake brakes operating. And people were saying that, it's the company should be at fault. The company. No, hot take. I think both of them should actually be held at fault for that. because it's obviously the driver's inexperience caused this. This is basic stuff that you learn is so it's a thing called stab braking. So it's well, most places it's I think the standard is 8 and 3. So you slow down, well, what would be in Canada, 8 kilometers in 3 seconds, and then you're off the brakes, and then the engine brake is helping to maintain that. So if you need to, on the brake, not hard, but obviously whatever. So you're on the brake for 3 seconds, slow down 8 kilometers, and then you're off. So you don't see that. You see this guy, he misses an emergency exit, blows past it, blows past
Now,
another
the
one.
emergency exit for anybody who is not aware of what a trucking emergency exit is your runaway lane. So
Yeah.
essentially, it goes off of the highway and it is a hill that brings you upwards. So then your truck starts slowing down and then eventually it stops. However, once your truck goes into this up ramp, your truck's done so, but people are safe.
Well, not necessarily the truck is done. Like it could be like gravel, like loose gravel, something to force the vehicle to stop. So there's a fine if you do have to hit one of these runaway lanes. So whether it might be flat, it might actually be downhill, but it is supposed to be something that is designed to stop the truck. So it might be uphill, might be flat, might be a slight downgrade. There are some in BC. They're fucking dangerous.
Really?
If for anyone, if I'm sure anyone that has driven Highway 3, there are some real bad ones. Like it just looks like grass. Like it just looks like you're going off into the bush, and it's a sharp right curve. So for you actually to exit safely, you would have to go into oncoming traffic and then hit it.
That is ridiculous. Why on earth would like that be a thing?
I don't know. It's honestly it's dangerous. But so anyways, so you can see what this guy is doing. Like he ends up pushing one from the clips I was able to find. He shoves a pickup truck off the road, trying to maintain or maintain. I guess trying to just stay on the road. But so, in my opinion, the driver and the transportation company should be held fully responsible.
In this particular case, I have it pulled up to anybody who's watching right now. His name was Aguilera Medeiros, and he's charged with 40 counts in connection with the crash, including vehicular homicide and assault. The fiery 28 vehicle pileup killed many.
Eight.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all their names. But and then 6 others were injured. So it killed 4 and 6 others were injured.
Okay. Okay, so that's where I'm getting my numbers mixed up a little bit. Okay. So those 4 people, because of someone's either their inexperience, inadequate training, or what?
Sorry, I just happened to read here. The fatal trip was his first time driving the truck through the mountains. Okay, so this is my issue that I have is that this isn't the first time that this has been a thing
Brought up.
where somebody who, they're brand new to trucking and right away they're sent into the mountains. Like Tyler goes through the mountains. He travels the Coquihalla, and to anybody who is not aware of the Coquihalla, just watch the show Highway Through Hell. It is quite the highway. However, they send these guys through there. Now, I've been through there multiple times going on the road with my husband, and that is a place where you would not want to send a brand new driver. And especially, I'm going to say, and I don't mean any insult to this at all, people who are not from this country, if they are not used to driving in winter conditions, you sending them through the mountains, through these highways is literally a suicide mission. You can't do that. I 100% blame the company who decided to do this. They should be sending them on routes that are more flatland prairies to get used to the vehicle first and then send them with somebody else through the mountains.
Well, to be fair, some of these guys did come from a country where suicide missions are kind of the norm.
Bazinga. Can't even.
Yeah, but but all right, that was a joke. That was a joke. It was a joke. Obviously not if they came here. Well, I don't know. Whatever. But okay, but so I've been in collisions with guys, girls. No, it's all guys. Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm not trying to like bash on guys, but just call a fucking spade a spade. I've been in accidents with guys, and they've literally said, "This is my first trip. First trip through the mountains." You know, they smash into someone, they drive off the road, they drive off a cliff, they hit a mountain, and I don't even know what the fuck I was saying, but okay. Okay, but so yeah. So to anyone that doesn't, it just looks like, oh, a semi, and all semi drivers are like this. And unfortunately, that's kind of the stigma that ends up coming around is that all these big, dumb, fucking morons don't know what they're doing. And they're just big and bulky and in the way. Okay, well, I understand the ignorance, and I don't expect anyone to understand, but also, you fucking four wheelers, you don't understand the rules of the road. So, there's that. Um, but so in regards to this, so I'll say this. Okay. Yeah, it was his first time. He made an accident. He made a mistake, I should say. In fact, he didn't make one mistake. He made multiple fatal mistakes. And I'm sorry, I would hold the driver to account, and I would also hold the transportation company to
Yes.
account. I think that would be reasonable. You killed I'm sorry, you know, unfortunately, this is the type of stuff that ends up sending ripples through the entire industry where standards have to become higher, which I'm in favor of, but the drawback is the pay does not compensate for it. That's the problem. So you are expecting more and more and more out of less and less and less pay.
Agreed.
Unf Unfortunately, like, okay, if you wanna have, all this training, all this mandatory training, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with, taking refreshers because God, there were when I first started driving, the air brake system was completely different from what it is now. And, you know, those type of refreshers, like, hey, the technology is constantly changing. And you could see like, electricians or plumbers, they're always going back to school for training to update their training because the technology is changing.
Same with mechanics. Mechanics is a huge one, especially when you start bringing in the different metals that they use on vehicles. Plus, when you start looking at things like autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles, solar vehicles, 100%. These are things that they're constantly going to school for.
Well, so it makes it really hard. So I'm unfortunately this happened to this guy. Like if he said like, "Hey, I didn't know what I was doing, my training or whatever," okay, like that would be part of an investigation, I would assume. But at the end of the day, they're gonna see like, "Oh, you have a CDL. You have a commercial driver's license. So you are considered a professional. You have an expertise or at least a training and understanding in the vehicle that you are operating in."
I mean,
Sorry.
the thing is, like, when I first looked at this case, I mean, I still do. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. It was his first time through the mountains. He was completely inexperienced and he made a mistake. And part of my heartstrings tear at, he made a mistake and he's literally going to spend the rest of his life in jail. He's 26 years old. That really sucks. However, thinking about the fact if I was behind the wheel and even if I'm driving our fucking minivan, let alone a semi. I am fully aware because I do have a class 1 learner's license. No, not my full license, but even with a learner's license, I am fully aware that driving a semi is literally like driving a house on the road. That is how much weight is behind it. That is how much power, you have so much power behind this thing, and how when you have a class 1 driver's license, you are considered a professional driver. Now, if for some reason I was, putting on the brakes and I ended up burning through my brakes that so many drivers do, especially inexperienced drivers, and my brakes are smoking and I can't stop, I'm sorry, but through my head, I would not be swerving all over the road. I would not be smashing into other people. I would be looking for the closest thing for me to drive off of the road. The first ditch, the first I honestly, I would go into the side of a mountain to stop myself from smashing into other people and killing other people.
I gotta call you on your bullshit.
You think?
Yeah.
You think I'm bullshitting?
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself if I hurt anybody else. I really couldn't.
The thing is, people like if you could see like the end of the situation, like if I do this, if I, drive off the road, okay, this is what's going to happen. And there are situations like and any professional will tell you, like, I made the decision to go into the ditch. Yes, that happens. Guys will, in order to save someone from being killed, even though they were in the wrong. A lot of the times, yeah, I've had to seriously think about it. If I cannot stop, there's the ditch. Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I've a weird little backstory, I guess. I've always been an odd person. Surprise, anybody who doesn't know me. But ever since I was a kid, I always looked at the worst case scenario type thing. Like I always look on the bright side of things and whatever, and I'm very optimistic. But I've always been a very if this happens, if a tornado comes, this is what we're going to do. If our house catches on fire, these are my exit things. This is what I'm going to do. If someone were to break in and someone were to stab me or shoot me or whatever, like I always had everything mapped out as to what I would do. And still to this day, like, and this is when I was a kid and my mom was like, this kid is fucked up. Like, I'm not even going to lie. My mom was like, what the fuck is with this kid? Like, why is she thinking shit like this? But even to this day, every time I get behind the wheel, I'm looking at the traffic on the oncoming side. I'm looking at the traffic behind me. And I'm constantly thinking, if somebody in the other lane swerves this way, what am I going to do? Okay, if they start coming into my lane, okay, there's not a lot of traffic behind them. I would probably veer to the left and go into their thing. So then hopefully we would miss each other and he would go into the ditch. Or I would just right away turn to the right, because if I turn to the right and they're coming at me, they're going to hit me. So if I turn to the left, depending, I might be able to avoid them. I might not. But the point is these are constantly things that are running through my head, and I'm not a professional truck driver. And I am
Okay.
constantly looking for the if this were to happen, where can I go?
Okay, so first off, this is why I'm gonna say, like, you're thinking what you think is gonna happen. Most of the time is not. Training dictates if a driver is you see someone crossing the road and they're coming towards you, you get as far to the right as humanly possible. Because if you swerve to the left to go to their what would be their inside, if they hit that rumble strip and they wake up, they're yanking it back into their lane. So you do not go to the left.
But if I have passengers in the vehicle that are sitting on the right or on the left, am I going to want my vehicle hit on the left or on the right where the people are? But this is the thing. These are just the things that I think about. So whether yes, okay, 90% of the time I am thinking I'm going to go this way, which is to the right because you can't see my hands moving. I also think about who I have in the vehicle.
That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Most people, if you fall asleep and you're drifting off to the left, when you wake up, you're going to go, holy fuck, and yank it to the right. That is what you're going to do. You're going to go right into if it's semi on semi, you're going into their trailer. And now you're really fucking shutting down that highway as opposed to a collision. like a head-on collision or a near miss, obviously slow down, try to stop, honk, flash your lights, try to get some kind of indication. The last thing you do is go to the left. Like that is if there are no other options, like, oh my God, if I go any more right, I'm rolling down a hill. Okay, that makes a little more sense, but no, you don't yank it to the left.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's just kind of my point is that I'm constantly thinking of these things as I'm driving, and I'm not a professional driver. So that's just kind of my point. And like if there's a steady stream of traffic say coming on that left-hand side, that's the last thing I'm thinking of is going to the left. 100% I'm going to the right. But with that being said, me being a inexperienced driver, a non-professional driver, these are the things that are constantly going through my head. So somebody as a professional driver should be thinking, okay, what should I be doing in the event of this happening? When I've driven the semi, I'm even more alert and aware of where I could potentially go. And yes, going off into a ditch and potentially hurting myself or something, that's pretty freaking scary, 100%. But going downhill or something and smashing into other people and causing a huge death and pile up, like, oh, I I'm not in that situation, nor have I ever been in that situation. I don't know what I would do in that situation. What I do know is these are things that I have thought about.
Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, so there's a thing that professional drivers use, and it's called the Smith system. So I just have it pulled up here. I'll send it off to you. Uh, so I'll just give it a sec to pull that up. So while you pull that up, I'll say,
That was really hot, by the way.
and so this is the type of stuff. So whether like again, I feel for the driver. I feel if he was not given this type of training, but you know what? Unfortunately, these are the types of things that happen when you have someone that is beyond inexperience, has only spent maybe 40 hours in a semi, and you send him to some of the worst places. And unfortunately, in this industry, what happens is guys come over on a work visa. They come here, and you know what? This isn't a racist fucking thing. So anyone that thinks that, you're the fucking problem. So shut up. This is the stuff that directly affects me. It directly affects industry. It affects your ability to acquire the stupid shit that you want to buy. That's what happens with these types of big, high profile accidents. This is exactly what happened. So you have a company, they hire a guy on a work visa, put him in a hotel room for 2, 3 weeks, maybe a month, because they know they can charge fuck all for that driver. And they have him sign a contract that he'll stay with them for so many years if they pay for his schooling. They do that type of stuff. And then, all right, well, here, you know, throw in whatever fucking name you want. Here, this is what you need to do. I've literally had, and I've said this before, Transex, I don't worry, I don't forget this, and I don't forget this too, Bison. I have heard them say, if you don't do it, you can leave, and I will find someone who will.
Oh, 100%. I know a company is one of the companies that you just mentioned who have literally gone to places like Africa, hired drivers there, brought them here, paid for their trip, paid for everything for them to come here, their schooling and stuff like that, for them to sign contracts to stay with them. And 100%, they tell you jump, you say how high. You just do it.
And if you say no, okay, then you're fired. Go back to whatever. I've heard guys say this. Go back to whatever shitty fucking country you came from. I have 10 guys waiting to replace you.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately.
so there you go. Thank you. Big transportation industries that literally you want to talk about abusing, immigrants. There you go. Tyson Foods, there's a bunch of places that will hire illegal immigrants. And I'm not saying the drivers are illegal. Obviously, they come here illegal. but they'll abuse them, use their work visa, dangle it over their head, and say, if you don't do, then fuck you. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the Smith system. So you can see there's the 5 points of the Smith system. So aim high. You know what? I'm sorry. You know, if people were looking at us, you know, to talk about, you know, whatever. So this is the type of shit that pisses me off. I'll hold the driver accountable. I'm sorry. I'm new doesn't fucking excuse killing 4 people, injuring 6, and fucking destroying 26 or whatever cars. That is no fucking excuse. Sorry. Okay. 1, aim high in the steering. Look ahead a minimum of 15 seconds at 25 miles per hour. That may be a city block at 60. It's a quarter of a mile. Scan the road. This far ahead gives you information. So when I was an instructor, and you know, some of the things that I would tell my students was take in as much information as you can to make an informed decision. You know, and I've brought this up before. Making a turn is like an 8, 9 step fucking process. A turn where you know you guys in cars just go, "Oh, lane's open." No, that's not how it works. Maybe for cars, you know, but even then, you know, I can understand the amount of mistakes that cars make. So aim high in the steering. So, like I said, you are looking into the future. What might be happening? Where do I need to be? Get the big picture. So keep a 7 second minimum following distance. You know, so that's when you start timing. So, you know, I'm sure some people do it. This is something I constantly do. It's an innate thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's road lines, it's a crack in the road, it's a highway sign, it's an
Light
whatever it
post,
is.
anything.
Yeah, just to check how what my timing is. Keep your eyes moving. Avoid focusing on any one object for more than 2 seconds. So that would be, well, it's called target fixation, where you start tunnel visioning on one specific thing. You're not aware of what's happening around you. There are about 3 prominent blind spots on a semi. Almost the entire trailer on the right side. Mirrors are getting a lot better, but directly beside the door, it's very hard to see unless you have a mirror that is showing directly next to the truck. Some do, some don't. That is a blind spot. Directly in front of the truck is a blind spot. Directly behind the truck is a blind spot. And just, just behind the driver's window is a blind spot.
Yep.
So, all right, okay, so there's that. Leave yourself an out. So, anticipate potential hazards and be sure to set yourself up with a way out. Don't wait until the last minute to try to maneuver into a better position, or you may get stuck in that bad spot. Number 5, make sure they see you. So, direct eye contact with other drivers. Use your headlights or flashers. And of course, a short blast of your city or air horn will help you communicate with other traffic and make sure they see you. So, one thing I always do if I'm walking in front of a vehicle and, you know, especially with a semi, I wait. If I'm gonna cross their path, I give, you know, I probably give them probably 10, 15 feet from the front of the vehicle, and I look directly at the driver, and I make sure that he sees me and he waves me past. Because there are times where someone will they look at you, but they don't see you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it would be something like that. So this is the type of stuff. This is just a basic thing. A system, please anyone. If you know, yeah, it's. I'm sure even in your car, this would be a great thing. There should always be something that's you know cycling through your head. You know, but you know, what, unfortunately, that guy don't have a lot of sympathy for. I don't, because you literally destroyed 4 families. I don't have any sympathy for the transportation company because I'm sure they're probably one of those we hired someone and we dangled their work visa in front of their face and said, do or else. So I don't. 110 years and seeing like 2 or 4 million signatures for this guy to get a more lenient sentence. Hey, you know what? If he gets it, great. Like, good for him. But like I said, the ripples that this type of stuff causes through the industry is
But the thing is, okay, with this, yes, the ripples that it does through the industry is absolutely just devastating. However, when you're looking at things like this, I agree with people trying to get him a more lenient sentence. Yes, was he involved in 4 people's death? Yes. But you look at murderers or people who have killed 4 people. Well, what is their sentence like? Okay, well, let's just say, because I'm not a lawyer or a judge, but let's just say 10 years per person. So, okay, 40 years. Let's just say. Let's just say. Okay. 25, 10.
well, 15 and 25 years.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, see if it was 25 years, that would put you at 100. Yeah. I mean, but okay.
Even if
Are,
he said 15 years. 15 years, that's still 60 years plus all the infractions.
yeah. I mean, I regardless whether they reduce the sentence or not, I think this guy's going to be spending the rest of his life in jail. However, with that being said, like, is it a really harsh punishment? Maybe. I can't say yes or no. Maybe. Um, do I hold him responsible for the things that he did? 100%. But absolutely, I think that the company, whoever hired this person, whoever trained this person, whatever, should be also held reliable and accountable for this. It should not be solely just on the driver, especially if the driver did not get the proper training. And the thing is, the company that hired him knew that he was a new driver, and sending him out into the mountains, into a very dangerous area to drive for the first time is completely mind boggling. And that should have some sort of repercussion in that aspect. 100%. I don't think this should just be just the driver. There should be other people being held accountable as well.
Well, and so I I would say the things that he was charged with, like I could see like vehicular manslaughter. That
Yeah.
would make that would make more sense.
Well, absolutely, because it's not like this wasn't a but that see, that's where it kinda okay, that's kinda where I was going with the if people murdering people. Okay, well, murder normally 1st degree, 2nd degree, so
Third degree.
I don't even know if there's a 3rd degree. There's 1st degree, 2nd degree, and then there's manslaughter, but whatever.
Well, maybe third degree is manslaughter. I think they're interchangeable. Some places they're interchangeable, but
Regardless, this guy did not plan out to murder these people. It was not even a second thought to murder these people. Manslaughter, I think at the very most. Vehicular manslaughter, yes. Murder, no. And I don't know, again, I don't know what the sentence is for something like vehicular manslaughter. Maybe it's the same as first degree murder, 25 years, but I can't
probably
see
not.
it. I can't see it. I think that the severity of the entire situation, the fact that there was 4 people that were killed, there were 6 people that were injured, there was 28 vehicles that were damaged. I think they're just taking all of that and just, okay, well, here's your sentence. Which, you know what? In all actuality might actually equal up to less than what a normal charge would be or to the right amount. I don't know. Regardless of the fact of that, though, I still think that there's somebody else here that is responsible for this, and it's not just the driver.
Yeah, so I'm looking at so CNN has a thing, and it's saying that they are looking at reconsidering the sentencing. So after sentencing earlier this month, Colorado District Judge A. Bruce Jones said he was bound to the mandatory minimums sentencing. On December 13th, we requested the minimum sentence allowed by law and discussed the court the statutory procedure permitting the court to reconsider its sentence in an exceptional case involving unusual and extenuating circumstances. So this is probably his lawyer saying this. It simply allows the court greater flexibility than an initial sentencing. I'm excited that, at least for now, that there's options open for my client. And we're going to look at every option available to help this kid get his sentence reduced. So he was driving 85 miles per hour in a semi, blah, blah, blah. When his brakes failed, no, his brakes did not fail. He overheated them. That's the problem with this type of wording. That is to imply. So with that wording would say it was a mechanical failure. Something broke. No, he overheated his brakes. So this has been the argument, and I don't understand why this is still a thing, that drum brakes are still a thing. I don't understand it. They are inefficient. They suck. And if they do get hot, you get a thing called brake fade, where you actually lose your brakes. But so, yeah, when his brakes failed, he told investigators at the time, he crashed, causing a fiery 28-car pileup that killed 4 people and injured others. Yeah, so drew immediate criticism and an online petition urging Governor Jared Polis to reduce sentence or grant clemency. 4.7 million. Why is Kim Kardashian West, who's been active in criminal justice issues, posted a series of tweets about the case on Tuesday and ended by saying that Polis is a really good person and I know he will do the right thing. Who the fuck are you?
Actually, as much as I would not normally step in for a celebrity saying shit, Kim Kardashian actually, for one, her father was a lawyer, and two, she went to law school recently. She went to law school, she did the bar exam, she is trying to become a lawyer. So she's done a lot of work in that way. Plus, she's done a lot of work in trying to get people pardoned in jail that have had over sentencing. Okay, with a lot of people, especially a lot of celebrities, I'm going to say that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Doesn't.
Unfortunately, Kim Kardashian kinda does. As much as I don't want to really jump on that celebrity bandwagon here, she's at least gone to law school and she's trying to or I don't even know if maybe she's passed her, maybe she is a lawyer, I don't know, but, like, she's actually done the work to be a lawyer, specifically, not just gone to university and got an arts degree.
That's what doesn't make any sense. To say the same thing. He was not drunk or under the influence. His brakes on the semi tractor trailer failed. No, you can see the smoke coming off his tires. You can see them. He cooked them. Okay, maybe the 110 years. Okay, I'll give you. Okay, maybe that is a little too fucking harsh. How about what about the transportation company? Why I would say why is this guy solemnly held on the hook? So this is the type of stuff. And hey, you know what? Manitoba Trucking Association, this is why I have such a fucking hate on for you, and I will never be a part of your fucking lobbying group, is because you do shit that literally push the industry further and further with more regulations, more laws, but at what benefit? Are you just trying to weed out guys and say, whatever? Why not? Why not actually push for Red Seal certification with an industry that is always changing? Or is it just hoping that what MPI fucking finally says, hey, you know what? Automated vehicles are here. We don't need these guys anymore. We don't need those guys, these girls, whatever. We don't need them anymore. But the fact to say his brakes on the semi tractor trailer failed, fucking wrong. Wrong. Another shocking and unfair part of this case is that the judge didn't want to sentence him to such a lengthy sentence. Okay, I can understand the mandatory minimum. Yeah, that can definitely be a problem. And I am, oh fuck's sakes. And I'm a big supporter of non-criminal drug offenses, anything that where people are not hurt, non-violent crimes. Okay, I don't think people necessarily need to be in prison for that fucking long. Especially, if someone's got a bit of coke for themselves, a bit of weed, a bit of whatever. I don't give a fuck. And like, I could not possibly care less. I think prostitution should be legal. I think all drugs should be legal. So, here's that big right wing conservative guy where I think actually, no, less laws, less punishments. I think that we should actually try to solve these problems and not just, law court them up. So, like, but the point is to make the argument that his brakes failed, uh, would imply a mechanical failure.
See, and I think that's where some of the disconnect comes from too, because maybe, the guy's sitting there saying, "Well, my brakes failed," or whatever, they weren't working anymore. And somebody who is not an experienced truck driver, does not know the mechanics about a semi tractor, might not know the fact that, hey, you can overheat your brakes and you can rub out your brakes and then you're fucked still. They may think, "Oh, okay, well, it's just an over thing." So the fact that somebody like go back to it, like Kim Kardashian is putting her nose into the legal thing. She knows the legal aspect of it. Trucking aspect, no. She's
It
not a truck driver, nor does she know the mechanics of a truck.
I don't know, maybe I'll have to take the time, and if this court case was actually aired, you know, I'll have to watch it. But it's, to make those types of things, it like I said, it just adds that layer of, "Oh, well, it wasn't his fault." I'm sorry. That's not how this works.
No. You can't say that it wasn't his fault. Is he a good guy? Was it his first time out? Was he inexperienced? Was this a complete mistake? Yes, 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 and yes. However, you are also the person that is behind the wheel and you had plenty of opportunities to take a runaway lane, to get off of the road, to not smash into other people.
2. Yeah.
That's more than one. That's
I
even
know.
one. There's
I know.
one, you
I
know?
know, but I'm saying, like, he had 2 opportunities to try to stop, you know? Like, how did you not ever, like, that this is something I went through my students with. How to use your Jake brakes,
Yeah.
how to actually gear down, how to control a trailer swing, how to control, well, jackknives are very hard to control, but he wasn't. He was just a runaway fucking truck. That's what it's called. He's a runaway truck. And trust, I have seen this. So for anyone on, the Coca-Cola, the Smasher, there have been plenty of times when you go from Zopkiss brake check going down, there's the Great Bear snow shed. So yeah, I'm not just making this up. I know what I'm talking about. There have been plenty of times you can smell burning brakes. You can see the smoke coming off the tires. And guys are just they're just riding them. That is their fault. That's their fault. That is not mechanical error. Okay, you have automatic slack adjuster. Did you not do your pre-trip this morning? If you did have a mechanical failure, why did you take the equipment if you knew that your brakes were not good? You have well, in the States anyways, well, in Canada too, we have EDLs. So, an electronic data log. It's our logbook now. You sign a piece of paper saying that this truck and trailer, the equipment is in good and working order. You literally sign saying that. So it's, yes, it is a form of liability that in the event that something does happen, okay, your name is on that ticket. That's the thing. That's always going to be what's going to tie him to it. Okay, do I agree with 110 years? No, no, not really. I'm not like I said, I'm not a fan of mandatory minimum. Definitely not a fan. Justice is supposed to be blind, not pattern seeking, not just, well, if they do this, then that. Okay, well, there's obviously most cases they're all, well, they're supposed to be unique. Justice is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to judge on the any gender, race, creed, ethnic, religious leaning, and not supposed to do any of that type of stuff. So, like, honestly, I couldn't care. I possibly could not care less. In fact, I'll say this: I actually do care about this guy's skin color because I would say he is inexperienced from where he came from. That's the only thing that I would say, like, well, even that, maybe that's a fucking racist thing to say. Well, I guess I'm racist then. But,
This
you
isn't
know,
the thing is going through the mountains, this isn't terrain, nor is it, weather that they're used to on a normal day to day. So, is that a racist comment? I don't think so. It's literally putting I don't know, like, dude, like, even if I were to go to Russia and drive on their highways, I'm Foxville, I'm Foxville. I'm used to snow 6 months out of a year. I would still be Foxville if I went to frickin' Moscow and was driving on their highways. They're some of the most dangerous highways in the world. Now, but that's the thing. As an experienced person, I wouldn't wanna go that way. However, someone dangling something over my head saying, "Hey, if you don't do this, I'm gonna send you back to Canada." Well, fuck. Okay, well, I'm gonna try it. But the point still is that there was a horrible mistake that was made. He was inexperienced, he didn't know how to handle himself, he ended up killing 4 people, he injured 6, and there was 28 vehicles that were ruined in the process. Okay, well, fuck the vehicles, to be completely honest. I don't really give a shit about the vehicles. The lives that were lost are more so the thing that I care about. However, 110 years for a sentence for a really, really bad mistake. This was not preempted. This is not something that he planned to do. He wasn't planning on killing people. This wasn't premeditated. I think 110 years, 100% is way too harsh of a sentence for this particular scenario. And again, I'm going to say he should not be the only one that's under the microscope.
I would say at the very least, his CDL, gone. Gone. He cannot drive a commercial vehicle, period.
I'd say that's fair.
That's just to start. Absolutely a jail time or some type of restitution towards the families that he has directly impacted. Some type of restitution. I don't care if he's slinging dick on the side of the fucking highway.
Sorry.
I don't care if he's tonguing assholes for the rest of his life to pay back those families that he's destroyed. But I would also say that transportation company should be sued into fucking oblivion.
100%.
So, that's that's the thing. And that's the big problem is this type of stuff creates ripples through the industry. The Highway 5, because of BC's torrential downpours, a lot of those roads were washed out. Highway 1 through the canyon, gone. Highway 5 on the pass, gone. Highway 3 was the only thing left open, and anyone that drives Highway 3 in the winter knows that highway is dog shit. So we had to take Highway 5A, which was, well, basically Merritt and a little jog up, what was that, 97? 97C? I don't know. It's one of those 97s. Fucking BC, come on now. Um, and that little 5A, a little like 70-kilometer stretch, wreck after wreck after wreck after wreck. And then Highway 3 was the same thing. Wreck after wreck. Guys just not knowing what they're doing, not understanding the situation. So there's one thing, and I was actually talking with a dispatch about this, was your wheels make different sounds com- with what you're driving on. So if you're on pavement, they sound one way. If you're on wet, like water makes one sound. If you're on
100%.
ice, it makes one sound, and if you're on slushy snow, you're on a different.
And
All this stuff.
a bridge, that makes a really weird sound. You're
Hmm?
driving on a bridge, like when you're going over a bridge, the weird noise that you hear.
Sometimes, not all the time. I'm just talking about the road surface.
Yeah.
So all those things make a different sound, and most people aren't aware of that. I am. So I don't know. Okay, so I think we talked about this long enough. What, maybe the 110 years. Yeah, that's probably a little too much. Should he face some type of restitution, some type of punishment? I think you'd have to be ignorant or stupid to think otherwise. But to say that the equipment failed Okay, well, there's a lot of checks and balances. There's a reason why, we have an EDL. There's a reason why we have a pre-trip inspection form that is mandatory on every vehicle. Every vehicle, every time you hook up, every time you disconnect, every time you hook up to a different piece of equipment, you have to do all this stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I would put more blame. And you know what? And I will say, I'll walk this back with Bison a little bit because at least they do have an entry level, like a mentorship program, which I'm a fan of that. Actually getting to be able to spend a year with a guy to actually turn them into a professional. Show them the ropes, show them what they actually need to do, this, not this, oh, you got what the fuck are you doing? I just watched the internet just tank.
You were fine. You didn't skip a beat.
Oh, oh yeah. No, there's a bit of a delay. But so anyway, I'm a fan of that. But all right. Anything else or
Yeah, I just got 2 little cute little things. So one, I ended up going on I don't know, I guess just Christmas time. One of the kids had asked me, like, why did they call it Boxing Day? So I ended up going on a little rabbit hole for that. So, a little FYI on the history of Boxing Day. So, Boxing Day got its name in the 1800s when Queen Victoria was on the throne of England. They used to do this thing called the Boxing Day test. So, every year on the 26th, which is what we call Boxing Day now, various significant sports events were held on this particular day. Traditionally, in cricket, a Boxing Day test match is played in Australia and South Africa. Apart from the cricket, and many other sports matches are also played on the day of Boxing Day. In England, football has traditionally had a marquee PL games on Boxing Day. Also, with churches around Europe used to collect money, put it in a box, and these were only opened on Boxing Day, and the money was given to charity. Another little factoid about Boxing Day is in Great Britain and some Commonwealth countries, particularly Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, um, it was the day that servants, tradespeople, and poor traditionally were presented with gifts from the rich. It was also used to be it used to be a day off for servants. In the 21st century, it has become associated more so as shopping and sports events. So some of these Boxing Day things, like the Boxing Day test, the cricket, the other sports and stuff like that, still happen to this day. But we do a lot of the shopping thing. And
well, that was from what was his name? Sigmund Freud was the guy that pushed consumerism, which is what we kind of deal with now, you know, like Valentine's Day, all this type of shit.
Sigmund Freud, he was like a fucking, I don't know, psychiatrist or some shit that always if you dreamt about bananas, clearly you were dreaming about penises or some shit. He was all fucked up.
Sorry, I don't know why I said Sigmund. It was Edward Bernays. That's it. And we've talked about this before. Yeah, he's considered like the father of consumerism.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
mhm.
So another little FYI that I had stumbled across onto one of my favorite websites, Coast to Coast, was so in Portuguese, they have something which is called a sweet sea monster of Christmas. So, oh, he looks so cute there. Yeah. So back in the day, really, you're sleeping. That's really cute. Wow. Anyway, so they celebrate something that is called a lamprey. It's a parasitic fish with long scale bodies and gaping mouths that contain multiple rows of teeth, which is used to guzzle blood from their hosts, which might not sound appetizing, but the lamprey also has been long regarded in Portugal and in much of Europe as a culinary delicacy. More than 2,000 years ago, really? Okay. You guys can't see this, but he's pretending to be sleeping at the microphone because he's a
What? Oh my
dick.
god, this is so fucking interesting. Oh my god, please, 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 lamprey. Yay. Yeah, that sounds like pillow pants. You don't know what pillow pants is?
Well, I when you say pillow pants, I think of fucking MC Hammer.
No, pillow pants is the monster that lives in a woman's vagina that has teeth, and if you stick your penis in it, it's gonna bite it off.
Oh, Jesus.
Pillow pants.
Well, never heard that before, but now that's all I'm gonna
Doesn't that sound
envision.
so much please, I would love to, in the comments, please let me know. Does pillow pants sound a lot more fucking interesting than this?
Shut up. Anyway, so during the
Fuck.
Middle Ages, shut up. During the Middle Ages, the lamprey reemerged as a prestigious food, a rare seasonal fish that was geographically restricted to the rivers, where it came to reproduce. The lamprey's limited availability made it as a symbol of status and power. The wealthy impressed their guests by savoring elaborate lamprey pies, stews, galantines, and blood sauces. Especially as a replacement during Lent. See, look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. Look at all those teeth. It's really disturbing. Anyway, so in the 1423, the Portuguese king Jahaio took an exclusivity to the extreme, establishing a death penalty for anyone who caught the fish without permission. And then in the 1600s, they ended up starting to make pastries of it. So as you can see here in a picture, my husband's being a dick. Okay. So apparently he's really not into this story whatsoever.
Fucking boring.
Wow. Well, I thought it was interesting that they literally make pastries now that look like these weird teeth eel things.
You could have just said, "Hey, look at what these Portuguese fucks do. They make fucking snail dicks. Isn't that funny? Snail penis." Sorry, I'm
Hey, well, thank you everybody for listening to our podcast. Hope everybody had a great Christmas holiday. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and check us out on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun jazz. And anywhere you can listen to us will be listed in the oh boy, in the description box below. So if you stuck around this long for my boring ass story, I'll say thank you. To anybody else, well, you're not going to hear this, so yeah. We will catch you again on Hump Day on Wednesday. Have a great Monday, everybody. Bye.